Hi everyone, I'm going to make this video very short and quick, but at the end of every year for the past 4 years now, I've done what I call a Happy Jar reveal video. And for those of you that have not watched my videos before, I made a Happy Jar about 4 years ago. Actually, I've made several now. This is just the newest version. I just like to craft. But anyways, you craft a jar or a bowl or a box or whatever it is you have, and throughout the year you put in Post-it notes that have all of the things in there that really made you happy, any significant life event. You put it in there, you don't look at it for the rest of the year, and then at the end of the year, you dump them all out and you read all of them. And it's just a really cool way to remember all of the good things that happened to you throughout the year. So even if you had the worst year ever, at least you can close out the year remembering all of the really awesome things that happened to you, and then hopefully get that positivity going for that fresh start to the new year. So I'm going to go through these pretty quick and just kind of get through all of them as quickly as I can. Actually, the first one I'm actually going to save for the end, and I'll tell you why. My mom visited Madison, so I don't have a lot of people that have visited me here just because it's just so far away from where I'm from. But my mom visited me and she really liked Madison. For those of you who have not visited Madison, I highly recommend it, especially my friends in California who have never been out to this part of the country. I went to comedy clubs. I haven't really done that a lot in my past, but I've gotten more into it lately and they're really fun. That didn't happen. I wrote Logic concerts, but I wrote it like preemptively because he was supposed to come to Madison, but then the concert got canceled. So I was really excited because I bought tickets, and then so I wrote Logic concert, and then I put it in there, but then the concert got canceled. So that's not happening. A lot of hilarious memes. I don't really know why I put this on there, but memes just make you happy, so I guess it goes in a happy jar. I went to Vegas for the first time as a older than 21-year-old person. I think the first time that I went, I was probably like 10 or 11, which doesn't really count. So I went to Vegas for the first time and actually got to experience Vegas with two of my really good friends. I saw Steve Aoki at Summerfest. Summerfest is probably like the biggest music concert here. It's in Milwaukee, which is about an hour and a half away from Madison. So I saw Steve Aoki, and that was really cool. Let's see. I've posted this several times. I went to the Go Ape ziplining adventures. For those of you that have not gone to that, those are like all over the U.S. as well. It's like that obstacle course in like the treetops, and it's very fun. If you're following me on Instagram, you've seen me post several of those from the times that I've gone. I did the color run. That was cool. I've never done like a 5K before, and I've always wanted to do that. It was always like on my bucket list. I always saw people posting about it on Instagram, and I was like, oh, it looks really cool. Never got to do it until this year, and it was so much fun. I wrote Vegas again, but then I added Baby Cash. My friend Christina, who was also a reporter and anchor co-worker with me in Sioux City, Iowa, she had a baby. Her baby's adorable, and so I got to actually meet Cash when I went to Vegas. I went to Holland and Kalamazoo, Michigan. Yes, not Holland like overseas Holland, but Holland, Michigan. It was very beautiful, by the way, and if you've ever wanted to just kind of like go city hopping in the Midwest, Holland and Kalamazoo are pretty good places to go. That was where I went to the Mac and Cheese Fest. Yes, that's a thing. I went zip lining. That's fun. I got new work toys. I love getting like cameras and accessories to do my job better and more creatively. Always a good thing. I got a pretty new TV stand. You can actually see it right there, that white shelf-looking thing. It's super baller, so don't judge me. I'm really proud of it. My best friend moved to Wisconsin, Austin. He's actually a meteorologist in Wausau, so we actually worked together and we met in Sioux City, Iowa, where he got his first job, I got my first job, and then he actually got a job in Wisconsin. So having a best friend that's very close to you is awesome. I took a Lyra class. For those of you that don't know, which most people I think do, know that I'm really into aerial arts. So like pole dancing, Lyra, trapeze, silks, all of like those circus type things. Very into that. So I haven't had access to a pole studio that I can afford or teach at for the past 3 years. So taking this class meant a lot to me, and it was like the first time I ever got to do it in several years. So that was very meaningful to me. I went to Indianapolis. That's another place that I visited this year. My boss told me that the stories I did were impactful. I think this made me happy because I feel like in a lot of workplaces, and I think this really needs to change, but my boss told me that the stories that I did were impactful is meaningful to me because some bosses just don't tell you when you're doing a good job, and I think that having that encouragement is key to productivity and doing your best always. Like having that encouragement and support, I think, is really important in the workplace. I did a story on Valentine's Day that showed me what true love looks like. I posted that on my Facebook, obviously on Valentine's Day, and that was just like this man visiting a cemetery that it was his first Valentine's Day without his wife. She was a quadriplegic for the last 10 years of her life, and every single day he took care of her through thick and thin, and just like it showed me what true love is supposed to look like. And this man never gave up on him, or never gave up on his wife or their marriage, and it was just beautiful. It brought me to tears, brought a lot of people to tears. I met a lot of wonderful people in the community doing good things. Yes, Madison is such a positive, good, supportive, inclusive community. Like, I've never lived in a place where everyone is just like, is so positive. I can't even describe it in another word. Like, it's so welcoming and happy, and there's just so much to do and so much fun things, and just a lot of people that do good things. And working in news, you know as well as I do, a lot of things are not very happy and they're very negative. So being surrounded by a lot of these opportunities is really good for the soul. I did that one. Okay, so this is my last one. Jean's last Christmas wish. So for those of you, this is the most recent thing that I put in there actually, and this happened just this month. For those of you that have not watched the videos on my Facebook about who Jean is and what his last Christmas wish is or was, you should go watch it. Like, it brought a lot of people to tears. I ugly cried on air, so you should just watch it alone just for that reason. But Jean is a man who has stage 4 pancreatic cancer, and for Christmas he wanted as many Christmas cards as possible. Within 2 weeks, he got more than 50,000 cards from all over the world, and that warmed my heart. If you go watch the video, you can see how much it impacted me. I did not mean to cry on air, but it just happened, and that was probably like one of the biggest life lessons I've ever taken away from a story or just from anything that I've ever experienced. Like, that was hands down one of the best experiences ever, and it's bittersweet, you know, because I know he's sick, but at the same time, this brought so much love, support, and positivity in a time where I think people really needed it. And I got a lot of people messaging me saying that just that, you know, they needed to hear about this love and this support and about this man's struggle, how it touched them and just made such a huge impact. So that was definitely like a turning point in my career, but also my life. And Jean has made an impact on a lot of people. So that's why I wanted to leave that one last, because it was the most recent, and it's probably the most important note that I had in my happy jar. So that concludes this one for 2019. 2020 is going to be the best year ever. I already know it. You should wish the same thing because you will attract what you put out there, right? I believe that. If you don't, you should. It might work. But anyways, I hope everyone has a happy and safe new year. If this year wasn't top of the line for you, maybe this next year will be. But start a happy jar. It's a really good way to end on a positive note and just kind of remember and reflect on all of the positive things that made you happy this year. Everyone have a safe New Year's. Get home safe. Don't drink and drive. Take Ubers, take Lyfts, or just stay home and hang out with your family and friends or by yourself with a glass of wine. Anything works. But anyways, thank you for watching, and I will see you next year.